Hello everybody, today we're going to be making dice. So we're going to be using Blender today. So just jump to Blender, you've got a cube, and what to consider when you're making your dice is the size. We're going to get to modeling first, and then we'll put everything in the right scale. So we're going to zoom into our die or our cube. First thing you're going to do is go into edit mode. Afterwards, we need to create loop cuts in order to increase the resolution of our mesh. So I'm going to go in and I can choose to subdivide. See that the edge, subdivide. And you get this option here in subdivide. How much cuts? You're going to want 4 cuts. And that's going to be just enough for us to put in the little indents for the numbers. I'm going to go to face mode and make our selections. So 1. And there's something to note about dies. Check this out. The sum of the opposite sides of the die is always 7. Cool. So jump back to that. First selection. And go over here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Once you've made those selections, the next thing we're going to be doing is an inset. Now let's jump over to our tools. I'll press T. There's also a little arrow over here you can always click on. And there's an inset tool here. So I'm going to inset the faces. And I'm going to go over to the side that has 6, because that one is always the side with the issues. So we're going to inset this a little bit. The 6 pops in, everything is together. We're just going to jump to individual, so it splits them apart. And you can even increase the thickness or lower it depending what you really want. Next, we're going to go over to the extrude region and pull our dice. Not on the outside or inside. Note this extrusion. It's not working out the way we want it to. We have to change the way we extrude. So let's undo that. Click on this and choose extrude along normals. And the normals are whichever direction the faces are pointing. So let me show you an example of what that looks like. If I click on my normals, you get to see those little arrows. Those are our normals, the direction that the face is pointing. So we're going to click on that and pull these in. Create our indentations. So let me hide this overlay again. And what would not leastly is, and this is really for putting materials on there in terms of the colors. I'm going to press Ctrl plus, numpad plus rather, that's a shortcut. If you want to go the long way, you can go select and choose more. That's going to select adjacent faces. From there, we're going to add a vertex group. I'm going to call this indents. One of the things you need to do first of all is assign those. So when I deselect everything and I choose indents and choose select, that just shows you that it works. And the next thing we do, right now it looks like this, which isn't very much, not very pleasing to look at. You want to make it smoother, so we're going to go to our modifiers. Add modifier, choose subdivision surface, and what you're going to start seeing is that all the square edges start becoming rounder. We can increase the viewport, and we got something looking like that. Well, if you look closely, you can actually see the faces. We're still in flat shading by default. Go to Object, Shade, Smooth, and you can always carry this up just a bit more. Now, note the levels of the viewport and the render. If your machine can't handle it, please do not increase this by too much, otherwise your Blender might crash. So if you don't have even the minimum required amount of RAM, if you're only working with 4 gigs of RAM, I wouldn't recommend going as high as 3. And I wouldn't, for anyone, recommend you go in and type in like a number like 20. Your computer might stall. Alright, so that's what the die looks like. Well, thanks for watching, and I hope this tutorial helped you even a little bit. God bless.